This Titan build might be the most broken thing I've seen in Destiny 2, as Strand Titan is just ridiculous. My name is Lewis1, and let's get into this build video. So, the reasons why Strand Titan has to be probably one of the most broken builds in the game, whilst also being the best build in the game. The reason for that is because of Woven Mail and Banner of War. Now, if you don't know what Woven Mail does, it gives you a damage reduction of about 30%-ish, I would say. Which is a lot, to say the least. But what makes this more insane is Banner of War, which you will also choose with aspects, which you can get from completing Elsa Lightfall, yada yada yada. But what makes Banner of War good? Well, just to actually start Banner of War, what you will need to do is either debut attack with melee attack, finisher, or sword to raise your Banner of War. Now, what it does is, it will periodically heal you and nearby allies in a radius, while also increasing your melee and sword damage. But once you proc it, anything you defeat will basically keep adding time to it, to the point where you're at Banner of War times 4. This is where the build gets crazy. Banner of War times 4 heals you for a ridiculous amount. You will, for most content, you'll be out healing the damage you'll be taking, and with Woven Mail, you would even get resistance. You would still take less damage with that, even with like 100% with other 30% damage reduction. You just basically will out heal everything, which is dumb. But what if I tell you, with some Zonic's armor pieces in this game that can make this build better? You can either go with Wormgold Crest for more melee damage, and so you can just dump more damage into this build, which is ridiculous. Or you can do the safe option and do simple sets, but Wormgold Garrus is seen to be more consistent, so I would choose that. Or, if you want to do even more healing, and get restoration times 2 for 15 seconds with Banner of War times 4, basically making you not die, and blocking with a sword that will basically make you not take any damage at all, then Stronghold, a good choice. And so, yeah, it's for saying you could basically not die with blocking your Strongholds. I think when I totaled this up, it was at over 100% damage reduction, which, when you think of that, with Woven Mail, obviously blocking with swords, and resilience time, obviously resilience at 100, to get 30% damage reduction, for all those combined, your damage reduction is insane, and you're out healing everything. And if you want to even more healing when you damage, use Lament, because it actually heals you when you attack people when you rev. It's insane what you can do. And then, obviously, if you want to get Woven Mails even more frequently, then have Into the Fray. Destroy the Tangle or casting your super grants Woven Mail for nearby allies. While you have Woven Mail, your melee regenerates increase. So basically, we are wanting to get Woven Mail as often as possible to get more melee energy, which will help with Banner of War, because with Banner of War, we get more damage with melee ability. This build and damage we can do, and dump damage, it comes insane. And it is a ridiculous build for that. Now, the fragments that we'll be using for the build itself, because there are 2 aspects, are sort of the 4 options. Thread of Transmission. While you have Woven Mail, weapon final blows create tangles. This is a way of creating tangles with your build. Also, when you create tangles and destroy them, you get Woven Mail back. You just loop the system, basically. Thread of Wandering. Pick picking up more power grants with a mail. Hey, even more things to get over mail with. Insane. Thread of Generations. Dealing damage generates green energy. This I know got nerfed because it was a bit ridiculous at the time, but it is still really good getting grenade energy back, and either way, and it's dumb. It's very dumb indeed. And then Thread of Ascent. Activating your grenade ability reloads your equipped weapon and grants bonus airborne effectiveness and handling for a short duration plus 10 mobility. Now, what grenade ability we're using? We're using Grapple. Grapple grenade melee can just output some dumb damage. It is actually ridiculous. If you want to be more safe, obviously go Shackle Grenade. Shackle Grenade is great for like if you're doing GMs and all that and you just need a oh shit moment. You can suspend everything near the target area. But Grapple Grenades are brilliant as you can just dump damage onto the area and it's great overall. This build is just dumb and really good with those 4 fragments, 2 aspects and the exotic armor pieces I listed. Now for the weapons for this build. This can go many ways, as with this build with my other builds to be like, oh, I'll use this weapon or this weapon, but with this build with weapons there's no real main focus, as you can realistically use a lot of weapons, as this build can just like say do dumb damage. If you want to do a 1-2 punch shotgun with this, it works really well with that. There's 1-2 punch shotguns with obviously melee ability. You can do 1 shot on 1-2 punch and be able to do 2 your melee abilities, and then proc 2 your melee abilities with 1-2 punch to get the max benefits from it, which is nice. Or you can just do like pure like damage phase by using like good kinetic. One that's been used a lot this season is Scatterzigdo, probably the best kinetic fuse rifle in the game, with overload control burst, and with like a Dragon's Breath, because Dragon's Breath is insane. You can just pump damage with this build as well if you want to like do mobile DPS phases, and this is really an effective way for even solos attempts as well. It's great for that. But if there's like bosses are more, you can get into the phase. Obviously, just put Lament, because Lament is dumb and it's just probably the best Exotic Sword in the game, hands down. Like nothing can compete against it. Obviously, any slot can be realistically anything, but I like to go solo this season because also with solo we can get a lot of benefits with it. So yeah, solo energy weapons are probably my go-to for this season. And if you are that insane person and knows how to do this really well and can do it, then I would say go with the Navigator, as if you know, you know. But basically, if you can do the grapple loop sort of thing and just dumb damage and basically make every dungeon a jerk, then do that. But if you can't, and it is very hard to do so, then don't worry, you don't really need it. But the Navigator is also a good option and can be a ridiculous option, to say the least. I mean, another weapon that's a good shout for like sort of builds, suspending and all that sort of stuff. Quicksilver Storm, still a really good like strand weapon overall. There's a lot of options and you can't go wrong with this build overall. You can even put Glaze into this build and they will do really good damage. It's just a good option. This sort of build entirely can work all well with a lot of weapons in general, and it's really good to see that you are not so tied down to you have to go this route, but no, you can actually go with multiple routes and it's good and I love it, to say the least. So with the seasonal artifact mods I like to go with this build are sort of the following ones. Obviously having Flint Striker is a pretty good one for this build because you get Radiant, and what does Radiant do? It gets you even more damage, so it's really nice for that. Wished into Being, While your super is nearly fully charged, ability final burst bomb always power while wearing a seasonal wish armor decreases super mounted threshold, so you get a lot more orbs power for its worth. Really nice. Obviously, from whence you came, there's a lot taken at Scholar season, so nice to have that. Kindling trigger, because obviously you get radiant lock with your solo weapons. This will just apply Scorch to it and just adds more dot damage overall. It's nice. Flame, fiber, and freeze. This gives you obviously solo strand siphon mods, so you can do both at the same time. Really nice for that. Unraveling orbs, picking up orb of power, grants strand weapons, unraveling rounds. Unraveling rounds is really great for this build in general because it does a fair bit and I love it. It just gives an added bonus to it, especially if you're using obviously this season's fusion rifle scatter signal. Just gives it a bit more oomph to this build, and it does obviously anti-barrier as well, so there's that to that. Dragon's Bite, we're more using for suspend, as breaking a combatant shield with a strand or stasis weapon has a chance to suspend or freeze target. So even using the fusion rifle and it's a more devious type enemy, we have a chance of applying suspend to it, which is nice. For the last column, I go with solo operative all the time because even doing solo content, you do more damage. And then Horde Shuttle, damaging unravel targets with a weapon occasionally spawns a friendly. Just means more damage overall, and attached to wipe enemies, just great overall. And this just makes this build ridiculous and good, to say the least. Now for the mods for this build. So the mods that you'll be going for, and sort of is the best for this build, are the following options. So for your helmet, I like to go to Armor Finder mods, mainly for heavy, as this will sort of increase the chances of getting more heavy ammo, and get more heavy ammo is nice, considering that's the main sort of aspect of like your DPS, if you're using more heavy focused weapons, so I like to run that. And then the solo strand dual siphon mod, because also I mean using solo strand weapons, so that's a no-brainer. And then with the gauntlets, if you're using, well, basically with any of these, the gauntlets I've listed, the solid ones, I would go with these options. Impact induction, your power melee, attacks reduce your grenade cooldown. Obviously you spam your melee a lot, so it gets those back faster. Fastball is quite good if you're using your Shaco grenade, so you get through it a bit more further distance. Obviously if you're using the grapple nade, obviously then you don't need to do that, so that's fine. But you can have that to change it to something else if you want. You can change it to, if you're using that, so you can change it to any other mods, like even if it's sort of another impact induction, you want to do that, it's totally up to you. Heavy handed, obviously we'll be using a lot more melees, so your powered melees will obviously grant levels of power. That's nice, as then we can get obviously more orbs of power for this build. For the chest piece, basically any resistance mods, armor mods, anything to supply charged up. Like basically, you could go anything in this build. If you're doing more solo content, I would sort of go with resistance mod, 2 resistance mods, and a reserve mod, or even 3 resistance mods. It's just entirely up to you as a chest piece. For the boots, you can do this depending on what your main damage weapon is. So I usually go 2 surges and then that scavenger for that. So if it's a solar, say solar heavy, so 2 soul surges and then soul scavenger, just get pick more heavy ammo up, and this will benefit from heavy ammo finder. Example is with heavy ammo finder ones, you only get 1 brick. With a scavenger, you get double that, so you get 2. So nice for that. And then for the class mod, 2 time dilations, as really enough said, as you get your armor charge lasts longer, so it will benefit with your Surge mods overall. And yeah, this is the insaneness of Strand Titan and what it can do, and the potential of just out healing everything and just dumping damage. It's just great. It makes enemies that are even like higher level than it, as you probably see the coil in the background, a jerk. It doesn't care, and I love it. This build is just like probably a 10 out of 10 build, and until they nerf it, which they probably will do. But yeah, this build is just ridiculous, and for solo content, for solo followers, this build will just demolish that, as Titans have never been stronger. Now, obviously this season artifact must benefit Strand, and with having solo operative, it just makes solo content easy with Strand, and this just will demolish it. And yeah, that's about it really. So if you want easy solo forces, use this. You've probably seen me solo force with this build in Duality, so if you haven't seen that, go watch that. It was a cakewalk, basically. But yeah. But thank you guys for watching. If you've seen more builds like this, please let me know what builds you want to see. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time.